everybody! So, Across the Spiderverse came out, and there's been a big resurgence in Spidersonas. And I had never drawn a Spidersona. I didn't draw it when the first movie came out. And so I decided that if there would be any time to draw one, it would be now. So first I had to try and figure out what I really wanted to do with my Spidersona. Because, I was thinking, oh, she's gonna be 50s and like a pinup. Ooh, pinup Spider-Man. Woo! But, the more I thought about it, and then the more I looked at, actual Spider-Man from, the really old comics, I was like, they kind of already made Spider pinups. And not in a good way. But I was like, oh, well, let me try and draw something out. And they were just looking really generic, just like ooh, it's Spider-Man, but a girl. And so I eventually realized that this whole look wasn't really going to work. So then I was like, okay, well, what about jobs? What kind of, job could the Spider-Person have? And for some reason, I thought a salesperson was a good idea. A Spider-Man salesperson. Like he works at the car dealership or something, I guess. But then I was like, oh, what about a mailman? Because for some reason, I really like making mailman characters. And I was like, yeah, I'll do a mailman. I think one of the other ideas I had was a clown Spider-Man, but I scrapped that one pretty quickly. Of course, I still really wanted to keep that kind of vintage look with this Spider-Man, so I'm still trying to make it look like it's still a 1950s mailman, not really a modern mailman, so I'm testing things out with the jacket and maybe giving it a big sack or giving it some pants, but I eventually went with this really simple, just black jacket that I thought still retains that kind of iconic shape language of a mailman, but it still also looks like a spider person. I was really surprised how I never realized how simple a Spider-Man design really has to be. The silhouette is just a huge part of the design here, and especially the legs. Now, hear me out here. You look at Miles, you can clearly see his legs. You can always see his legs for the most part in any pose he's doing and with his silhouette. The same thing can be said with Gwen. Gwen is always, you can see her legs, and they're very, it's one of the main center points of Spider-Man designs, is the legs. And so I realized with my design that the legs had to be very much just legs. They couldn't have any pants on them or anything like that, because then it loses that very iconic Spider-Man design. And if you're thinking posing, the poses of Spider people, you always gotta see the legs. You always gotta know where they're swinging and where they're going. So you can easily tell that, they're swinging, they're not just falling in midair. Another thing that's almost incredibly obvious to me now that I can't believe I didn't realize originally was how almost all Spider-Mans have the colors red, white, and blue. America. It's very much designed that way to be very iconic and easy to recognize. If I just put red and blue near something, I'm like, is that Spider-Man? And all of the Spider-Verse characters have that same color variation of red, white, and blue. Now you may be thinking, well, what about Gwen? She's got pink and, teal. Well, yes, but the pink and the teal are still a variation of that red and blue. Same can be said for Miles with the red, white, and black, because the black basically is the substitute for the blue in his palette, and the black reflects blue, so it just kind of all fits together there. So I knew that my Spider-Person had to have some variation of the red, white, and blue that all the other Spider-Men had, so like Miles, I decided that I would use the black in place for the blue for her mailman jacket. So I referenced a bunch of the original Spider-Verse concept art to try and get the coloring right, because I very much wanted it to look like it could be Spider-Verse concept art, so I was really trying to nail that style. I still wanted to give her a hint of that 1950s pin-up-y kind of look, so obviously I gave her heels, and then I added 2 little spiders to the back of her legs. move on to her face, again trying to very much keep it in that Spider-Verse art style. With the 1950s theme, I tried to give her a little bit of a Marilyn Monroe eyebrow, and I just add some other makeup techniques that they usually used in the 50s. So my Spidersona's name is Pinkie Parker, because I find the variations of Peter Parker, like Peter Porker and Penny Parker, very funny, so I decided to keep it with that. So Pinkie Parker, and her Spider-Man name is Spider-Mail, because she's a mailman. She is the resident Spider-Person of New Hollywood, a fusion of New York and Hollywood. And after becoming a Spider-Person, she decided that she needed to still remain positive in the public eye, so she tried to help around the city. And so she went to the city officials and tried to work something out with them, and they really weren't sure what to do with her. So they were like, you can be a mailman and deliver mail, I guess. And so that's what she does now. So whenever she's fighting supervillains and trying to keep them from taking over the world, she also has to make sure that fragile packages don't get destroyed in the middle of the fight. And another question people might ask is she on Team Miles or Team Miguel? I honestly think she's on Team Miles because she's probably treated kind of as a lesser Spider-Person just because her main thing is that she delivers mail. In fact, in the Spider-Verse world, she probably does deliver mail to the other Spider people. And after a few more final touches, she's completely finished. And then, as an added bonus, I drew just a little thing of what, like, a comic of her would be, like, when they introduce themselves, and then that comic comes down at the beginning. This would be what her comic probably looked like. So yeah, that was Pinkie Parker, aka Spider-Mail. She was definitely really hard to do because I wanted to try and nail the Spider-Verse art style, and I had never drawn a Spider-Man before, and I wanted to make it look like it could actually be, like, in the movie. So it was a lot of stuff that I tried to make myself do, but, you know, I actually think I accomplished it a little bit in the end. And a fun little thing I learned is that they sometimes do actually put people's Spidersonas in the Spider-Verse, which I just thought was really cool. So please let me know if you liked Spider-Mail, and if you've made a Spidersona before, please tell me what they're like. I really want to hear the different kind of Spidersonas people have made. And an important thing about the YouTube channel is that I had to completely re-upload the What is the Carlette Show video. So if you guys could please maybe just watch that one again or just give it a like, that would mean the world to me because everything has been completely removed from that since I re-uploaded it. But anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new around here and you really liked this, then please subscribe for more. Thank you!